Good evening. Welcome to the Swing Trading Newsletter. How is everyone doing? Hopefully you guys are having a great week out there. So a great week for the newsletter, REGN, beautiful, beautiful trade. We'll go over that in a bit. For now, let's just go over the market here. So taking a look at the market here, now obviously we see that, market obviously chopped around a little bit. And right here, we talked about that, we are a little bit extended. We gotta wait a little bit for a pullback to get into some swing long positions. So we waited for that, market pulled back, we got into a couple longs, and REGN obviously worked out beautifully there. And, market obviously pulled back, something that we talked about, right? A little V reversal, because markets just don't go straight up or straight down, because again, all you need to do is just scroll down the chart, right? Go back to the past, right? Ebb and flow, market goes up, down, up, down, up, down. That's how the market goes up. And obviously we're talking about being a little bit extended. Here was our area of support. We kind of came into that area right about there, came down, bounced, and today we got a really nice move. Today we had the FOMC, Federal Open Market Committee meeting today. Don't really care what was said in there. All that we know was that, big volume spike and nice big candle on the market to the upside. So we obviously we got our levels here. Take this out, again, market can go to new highs, obviously, because again, ebb and flow. What happens? Market goes down, goes up, goes down, goes up, goes down, goes up, goes down, goes up. So we went down, and we might just continue our uptrend, because all we need to do is take a look at, again, the weekly chart, right? Nice, beautiful uptrend here on the weekly chart. Kind of had a little scare here, came back above, little scare here, came back above, came down here, and we're bouncing again. So nice move in the market. Obviously now we've got our levels to work with. This line is obviously a support level. This line is a resistance level. Would like to see the market consolidate tomorrow, because if you just keep on continuing higher, it's going to run out of steam pretty quickly. So what I would like to see is maybe come down, hold the top third of that bar. Let's say 209 on the SPYs. If you hold 209, then just a little red day maybe, and then we can continue higher. If you just continue straight up, then it's going to be a little trickier. Let's take a look at the Qs here. The Nasdaq, same thing, right? Here's our support level. We came down, bounced back up. However, this area is going to be a little bit of a resistance, as you can see. So I would like to see, again, a little, maybe couple day pullback, or little consolidation, hold half of the green bar, and then kind of continue its grind higher. So that's what I'm looking for on the markets here. Let's take a look at the IWM, new highs, and we talked about this. We talked about this in the last newsletter. Hey, IWM, while other markets pull back, this one's actually holding really strong. So this is the leader in the market, right? Holding its uptrend line. This is the leader. While the market pulled back, this one was holding relatively nicely. And once we had that big red days in the market, this one actually was a green day. So that was the first sign of IWM being a leader. And if you've been part of the newsletter for any length of time, in my prior newsletters that I used to do, we talked about IWM as like a longer term play with a 125 target. And I guess we just kind of did that today. Came down to support bounce. So IWM clearly a leader. Again, would like to see the same thing. Hold this green bars half, little or maybe a couple day pullback, and then we continue higher. That would be nice. Obviously, this trend line is something to keep in mind on the IWM. Let's take a look at the gold. GLD, big, nice move up today on the GLD. We got our sell-off here. Here's our downtrend line. And, you can see how the downtrend line is still intact. This channel is still intact perfectly, right? So today we had a nice big volume, nice big green day. And but I'm actually skeptical a little bit. I mean, this is a good sign, because this is kind of a double bottom on the weekly chart. Let me get rid of these lines here. Right, so this is kind of a double bottom on volume on the weekly time frame. Right, here's where we bounced earlier, and here is where we came down again, and we bounced again. However, I'm a little skeptical, because it seems a little obvious. So maybe people are getting sucked into long. And the thing with GLD is that it can give you a lot of these big green days, but then it can always just gap down the following day and never really give you a chance to stop out. Like, let's just zoom out here. Let's just zoom out. Okay, let's take a look at what's happened when the GLD's got big green bars. All right, Big green bars, no real follow through. Big green bar, no real follow through. Another green, days here, no real follow through because the trend is still down. Big green day, a little move up to get some people long, slap. Big green bar, little bounce, but kind of just choppy overall. So I'm not really exactly sure because again, you see where we stopped today, the high of this candle, you will see where it comes down at. Boom, right into this potential trend line right there. So something to keep an eye on the GLD. Probably the same thing with silver, right? Same thing with this SLV, silver ETF. Double bottom, nice big move today, but we kind of fill this gap right there, and we're technically still pretty much in a downtrend. So, just be careful of this, mindful of this, don't get sucked into these things. Let them confirm, let them give you a red day, hold half of this bar and then take out the highs. That's a better entry long. Let's take a look at the USO oil. Oil again, just continuing its downtrend. Never really triggered a long setup for our hedge fund, but now today's day, kind of puts it on the radar. We got a nice volume spike today, nice big green day. Same thing for as all other commodities. Still got this bunch of resistance to deal with. We do like USO, but we're gonna wait. We're gonna wait for it to set up for us, right? We don't just buy any green bar, right? So don't just buy any green bar, because again, it doesn't mean anything. Look at these green bars. Nothing. Look at this big green day. Nothing. Look at this big green day, engulfing pattern, whatever, right? Bullish engulfing, whatever. Nothing. All these big green days, nothing. Nothing on these green days as well. So it doesn't mean anything. It's just a green bar. That's all it is. So let's wait for a setup. Let's wait for a pattern. So nothing to do on the USO at this point in time. Now, obviously, we're going to take a look at the VIX, VXX. VXX, same thing. A little rally up with the market decline, and now we're back into the resting heartbeat, right into that support area. Probably going to take it out, but we'll see. This is a good support area for the VIX here. We've been holding this, area for quite a few times. So maybe, we do get a bounce in the VIX, and that would mean, a down day in the market. So that's pretty much it as far as, the indices and the markets and stuff are concerned. Let's go into some stocks. Let's review our trade. REGN, that was the trade that triggered in the newsletter. Beautiful trade, right? Beautiful trade. We got long right there and at 431 something, right? 431 is where we got long. That was in the newsletter. First target was 452.35 right there. Boom, first target hit. We took half out. Second target was 471, and obviously that hit that today. It actually went as high as 475 today, so it definitely hit the second target. However, I sent a personal message out to all subscribers yesterday saying that in light of this big move that we've got, we're going to protect it, the remaining position under I think 469 is where I said, right? 467, I think 467. Let me check my position statement. So yeah, 467 is where we said we're going to protect the position, and we got obviously taken out today. Right there, I was just going to go over my positions just to make sure, and we got taken out in the morning. So sent out a message yesterday, hey, if we go hit our target, great. Else we're going to protect our position under 467. It actually gapped down a little bit today, rallied back up a little bit, and obviously we got out at 466.50 is where we kind of sold our position, and we rallied back up, so we kind of hit the bids. So we got out there 466.50 on the second position. But if you stayed with it, maybe if you were a little more patient than we were, I mean, look at that. Look at that move. Boom. Straight rip up, 476. So again, amazing gain. We're satisfied. Let me see if I've got a position statement or something from my account there so that I can show you guys how that trade turned out. And again, obviously, I know this is a big stock, so some people email saying, hey, this is a too big a price stock, so we couldn't really trade it. Hey, guess what? I know it's a big stock, but it moved, it moved 30, it moved like $40 from our entry. So even if you took 50 shares, it's pretty simple math. Even if you took 50 shares of that thing, right, with a small account, well, 50 into 40. Oh, sorry about that. That calculation obviously is not right. So 50 into 40, you still made $2,000. Not bad, right? Not bad. You paid $97 for the newsletter. So even with 50 shares, you're kind of doing good. So I'll show you stuff from my position statement. Obviously, this is an old one because I took a screenshot yesterday. I'll show you my updated one tomorrow. But this is what my position statement looked like on the REGN. Again, just kind of posted for social media and that kind of stuff. So a nice breakout there. That was my position. I had 400 shares, so I sold. Obviously, first target here locked in for 4,200 bucks. Obviously, this was taken yesterday, so I'm out of it. So I'm no longer in REGN, but we sold it today. Turned up to be a nice gain, about $11,000. Not bad for a trade. Wish I took a little more size, but again, nice trade nonetheless. And this is great. This stock is just a monster stock. Because if you take a look at the weekly chart here, this stock is a monster. I mean, look at that. So what's our plan with REGN now? Well, plan is pretty simple. First plan is to delete these lines off my charts, which I am trying to do right now. All right, I'm done deleting these lines. So now what we want to do is pretty simple. All right, pretty simple. You want to watch it for a little pullback, right? Either here, right? And then you want to get back in, right? We want to get back in. So we'll wait to see if this pattern evolves. For now, nothing to do with it. Beautiful trade. Let's call it a trade and be done with it. Next trade we had on the newsletter